up here too. I don't know. Hi, Beth. How you doing, sweetie? Let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Hi, students. Here we come in. We're gonna see what happens. Hi, I'm so glad you all. There's Mr. Ross. I see Mr. Ross. Let's ask you to show your video. And hi, Young. Hi, Ross. What's up? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Ross, see if can you talk? Can you tell me if I can hear you? You might be muted. Hi, Charlene, you made it back.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, Charlene, I'm gonna mute you, sweetie. All right, babe. Arturo, let's see.
Hella dark, huh?
You're dark.
Yeah, it's not really bright in here.
That's okay. Okay. All right, let me see. Here we come. I'm muting people. So at 6:05, I had a big crowd online for you. I've shot the email back out. We'll see what happens. They will continue to join it. Okay, let me get the chat up. There's a chat here. Hello. I'm glad you made it back with us. So what may happen, everyone, is we might have some more students pop in. We'll see. We had a big host of them earlier. So, all right, let me, the only thing I want to see, I'm going to mute everybody. Are you putting your finger to my face?
No, I was making sure it, because I have the computer camera and then I have the other camera.
Okay. All right. And, all right. Let me see. This meeting has already started, so I'm wrong. Let's see. Don't know if it will work, but if you can see him here, it might be easier for you to see him than on the thing. Let's see what happens. Can you see it there? Can you see him there though? All right, let me do. Okay, that's fine. Let's do this. Let us. Hi. Oh, thanks. There you go. That's hilarious that I'm up there on the screen. I want to, hang on one second. Adrian, I'm going to make you host. And then, so I'm changing you to host. You're the host now, Adrian.
All right.
Can you see it? Yeah, there he is. All right, so you are now like, if you can see yourself, like, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, it changed to me. Oh, never mind. Anyways, you're up there. So here's what's gonna happen. Can you see these guys?
Go down lower.
Wait, try again. Can you see those?
There you go. There you go. What's up?
All right. Go ahead now, Adrian, and you talk, and then it'll go back and forth a little bit. Let me do this.
So I gotta click. Oh no. I can't hear you now.
I muted me to keep us from bouncing back on screen.
Got it.
You can just start talking and I'll tap in, all right?
That's gonna be weird. All right.
Just roll with me. Listen. Just roll with me. All right.
All right. What's up, everybody? I don't know. As you guys know, my name is Adrian Ross. From a lot of different places. Originally born in San Jose, California. So I'm a Bay boy. Moved around a lot there. We're gonna get to that because of my dad. You know, my parents were educators. My dad's former principal and my mom's a teacher, just now retired last year. My dad's been retired for a while. But, you know, growing up as my dad was an assistant principal here, an assistant principal there, principal here, principal there, we always moved. And that was just my normal life. And people always thought that we were in the military. They're like, "What, were you in the military?" And I'm like, "Why do you think I'm in the military? Like, what is that?" I never understood that. But that was my life. I was just used to moving every 2 years. And so when I think back to that, or when I look at myself now, I think that's what helped me just be able to talk to people, because I was always the new guy in school. So, that's kind of like some of the makeup of what has made Adrian and what's made me be who I am today. And I just say that to just to tell all you guys that, you guys are all there, whoever's paying attention, whoever's watching now, we all came from different paths, but look, we're all in the same place, in the same space. We're not even in the same place right now, but right now we're in the same moments, being in a whole lot of different places. And, that's kind of what, like what I'm going to talk about and what my journey was. Moved up here, moved to Elk Grove High School, moved to Elk Grove, California for high school. I went to Elk Grove High School. And that was a big change for me, because from having moved everywhere a lot, going back to San Jose, it was like, hey, like I'm back in my city. I'm going to get to go to high school. And then bang, my dad's like, we're moving again. Like, what, really? Like us moving? No way, but I was really kind of upset because, like high school, it starts to get to where, you're, junior high, you're getting some friends and meet with sports. But it actually ended up being the best thing for me. Going to Elk Grove High School, played football, basketball, and track. And we won. Like, we were real good in everything except for basketball, which that was my least best sport anyway. So, but I won championships there in football. I won there in track. And I won there in the classroom. I had a 3.83 grade point average. And a lot of other things I'll just fast forward through high school. But, you guys already know the basic adversity things of being the new guy, coming in and being the freshman and being the new guy. But that was something that I was already used to. So that prepared me, so when I get to look back on it, the things I had early on in childhood, it's like I was able to be prepared for what was going to happen later. When those opportunities presented themselves or the situation presented itself. I received an academic scholarship from Colorado State. At the end of my high school career, my parents were all about academics. I have a younger sister, and she's really good. She was a national champion in discus. She got a scholarship to UCLA. So our household was just all about academics, but we were these like good athletes. I'll say my sister was this great athlete, because she was the national champion in high school, when she was a kid, all the way on up. So, she was like probably the best athlete in the family as far as like all like the accolades. But it was weird when I look back on it, because that's just kind of what the Rosses did sports wise, but it was all about doing well in school. It was always about getting good grades. And so for me, my dad always told me that if I get good grades, I'll be able to go to wherever I want to go to. And when it came down to that in college, I was never looking for a scholarship. I just was like, hey, I have good grades and I want to go here and I want to go there. And I just kept moving on. So my senior year, all of a sudden, colleges started coming when I was in basketball season. It was football coaches were coming, and they would watch our film, and they were like, who's this guy? Like, who's this kid right here, number 44? And my coaches would say, oh, it's this skinny guy. He has big feet. He's really good, but, he's skinny. And when I think about that to this day, I always say that there's different people that are in your life, and I always say you could do everything that you put your mind to and that you work hard to do, unless there's another human that's in charge of granting you the opportunity to do it. And so that's just been a part of my life. And so this is what coaches are telling this is what my coach is telling these schools. But they're watching me on film, but they're kind of listening to the coach. Like, well, this guy is really good, but the coach isn't really talking about him. And with being so up on academics, neither was my parents. Like, neither were my parents. They just, it was just, hey, whatever's just going to come is going to come. So it wasn't until that point that I kind of started saying, hey, like, this school likes me? Like, what? So they're coming by the house, Colorado State comes by the house and they want to talk to me. And, I had never heard of Colorado State before. I'm growing up thinking like, oh, I'm going to go to UCLA or whatever, because I watched them on TV for football. And so I asked Colorado State, I'm like, are you guys Division I? And they're like, yeah, I'm kind of just really like insulting them a lot. They're just like, yeah, we want you to come to our school. And I'm like, do you guys play on TV? And they're like, yeah, we play on TV. And we play BYU and San Diego State. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so then they asked me, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do in life? And I already knew I wanted to be a veterinarian. So they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, veterinarian. And so they said, well, we have the #1 vet school in the nation. And it's like, you're like, no way. How can this school that I didn't apply to, that I've never heard, that I don't know anything about, how are they in my living room trying to get me to go to their school? Remember, I'm just a skinny guy, and so it was at that time to where it was like what was being told to me and then what was actually happening to me were kind of conflicting two different things. It was like, wait a minute. Cool, I do good in school and I do all this other stuff, but that doesn't mean that I'm not of value. Like, that doesn't mean that, like, I was always looking at it as like, okay, the grades or the value and so on and so. And it's like, well, those are tools to make me be more valuable. So the better that I'm doing, the better that I'm working out, whatever it is that I'm doing for where I want to go, it's making me more valuable. Versus, I think when we were in, up in elementary school, it's almost like you have to do this because we're saying you have to do it. And then as I kept going up, it's like, well, all this stuff and being good at it makes me more valuable. And so I went ahead, took the trip to Colorado State, and they didn't value me as much as I thought. But I got an academic scholarship. I didn't get the football scholarship. And again, I looked at myself as, oh, okay, well, I guess I thought I was pretty good in high school, but these guys that got scholarships, I instantly made it be a standard. Like, I didn't get a scholarship, so all the guys that have a scholarship, they're better than me. Day one, when I got there, I found they're not better than me. The scholarship, the title, the label didn't make anybody be better than me. They might have been getting paid more than me, or they might have had a scholarship or whatever it was, but their title and their label didn't make them more valuable than me. And that's when I first started to understand my value, because I saw I didn't have a scholarship like these other guys, but the coaches were playing me. So that's just the standard. If you're playing me, then I'm obviously more valuable some kind of way than the guys that you're actually giving a scholarship to. So that just created this narrative for me to where I went out there every day just wanting to destroy people. I was so angry because I'm like, these dudes are on scholarship, like they're horrible, and they're not, they were horrible. But, I don't think if I would have had that, I would have never recognized my value going all the way up through the rest of my career. So there was a lot of incidences with the coach from that point on, because they tried to keep my value at a level of, we gave you a scholarship. So since we gave you a scholarship, you better keep working hard or we're going to take it. And they kept trying to talk to me like that until I just had enough, where I'm like, I'm not fearful of you taking something from me. Like, there is no, you're taking my scholarship. Because for number one, I'm the value. The scholarship's not the value. I'm the value. You didn't give me a scholarship just because you felt like it. You gave me a scholarship because I'm valuable, and I could tell that I'm valuable because you're playing me in front of the guys that you gave scholarships to, and you're not telling them every day that you're going to take their scholarship. So we're going to stop that right now. So you have to imagine being a redshirt freshman or redshirt sophomore and this head coach, you know, that's won national championships. You know, these coaches are looking at you like, this is the little kid that we gave the scholarship to is like talking to us and telling us what we're going to do. And it's like, yeah, yep. That was me, because I saw it and I was like, look, like, this is what this is. You're a coach. I'm a player. You're good at what you do. I'm good at what I do. Stop trying to play all these other games. Like, I'm too smart to, you know, I'm letting you know, I see the game you're playing. I'm not cool with it. I'm valuable. If I'm not that valuable, go ahead and get rid of me. Like, tell me, what did you give me a scholarship for? So let's stop that and move forward so we can win. And that we did. So my senior year, best record in school history to date, 11-2. We won the WAC. And now I think I'm going off to the NFL. Well, I know I'm going to the NFL. I just think I'm going to get drafted. We just had the NFL draft this past weekend. I don't know how many of you guys in there saw the draft. Any of you guys in there watch the draft? Yeah. So now I'm an agent, so I had to deal with that. Matter of fact, since you guys are there, let me see if you could. There's a player's, yes, there's a player's. I've been dealing with a player's contract there. So sorry earlier. And can you guys see that? Does it say what it is? NFL contract. Yeah. So I have a player that's we're dealing with the Chargers and the Colts right now on which team he wants to go to or whatever. So it's a lot of drama that has gone on with that right now. But anyway, where was I at? So I don't get drafted, and it was really weird for me. But again, I remember like how I was brought up and what happened in college. I didn't get a scholarship for football coming out. So I was already prepared because I'd already did it before in college. I already knew. I said, okay, those labels don't matter. Those labels of those guys getting drafted doesn't mean that they're better than me. It just means they have a different title than me. And I signed to the Cincinnati Bengals and played there. And the next year, I was the starter. And I beat out the first pick. I beat out the Bengals' first pick. So, you know, he's their first drafted pick the year before. And the very next year, non-drafted guys beating him out. So that just shows you right there, these larger entities they try to make everything be cookie cutter. And this is my message for you guys is make everything be Burger King for you. You know, have it your way. There's a cookie cutter system of how you guys have to sit there now and go into a classroom and you have to listen to different teachers speak. And so, you know, that's a means to an end for what you want. But while you're in it, try to make it be your way and what you want to get out of it, you know. And that's just, you know, that's my advice is, you know your value and, you know, just know who you are, because there's a lot of things that for me that I know that I'm not good in. I know that I'm not great in. I know there's things that I'm great in, some things I'm good in, some things I'm not good in at all. And it's up to me to have to seek out either that information or that entity that can give me value in that space. And so where you guys are at now, you know, I'm still to date trying to get more value, trying to get more knowledge, because I know it makes me more valuable. But the main difference, I felt that there was a long time and a long space in my life that I didn't understand that I was making myself more valuable. I thought that I just had to do it because that's just what you do at 12 and 13 and 14, you know. So it's, you know, but I'm not doing it for mom and dad or aunt and uncle or for my teacher, you know. I was doing it for myself. And having that value allowed me to be able to take on the opportunities when they presented themselves. And that was one of my main goals when I was in high school. You know, I didn't want to, you know, I want to play pro football. I want to be a veterinarian. So there was two, you know, there was a few dreams there. But as I continued to get closer to them, they weren't dreams anymore. I was doing the things to make them be a reality, and I think a lot of times that we talk about, oh, I want to dream of doing that, like when I talk to younger high school students, and I ask, like, how many of them want to, play pro football or be whatever, and they raise their hand, and then the next thing they'll say is, I don't like working out. What? Like, that doesn't go together. Like, you can't not like this, but then say that this is your dream of this. It's like they don't go together, And of course, like we all know, being young like that, you could change anything, But I just try to make them be aware of what they're saying. But number one, for the level that you guys are at, is just know your value, and keep seeking to raise your value, because the world, I feel, is out to take advantage of everybody, especially if you don't know your value, but you can take advantage of every opportunity to make yourself more valuable, and that's what it's all about, is who's going to put in all the work to make themselves be valuable. And you guys will be able to see the fruits of your labor. Case in point, actually here, since we're actually talking about it, what happened here was there's a player who just really didn't know who he wanted to sign with as an agent, and he waited all the way up to the draft. And so this one agent that he was talking to, the kid didn't have a printer to print out to sign the contract and print it out. So the guy said, hey, I'll just do it electronic signature. So the guy just fills out the contract and sends it to the player. So the player never actually signed the contract with that agent. And then he comes and he wants to sign with me. But then the team ends up talking to him, and he kind of panics and tells them that guy is the agent. So they call him, and so there's been this whole contract dispute. But I say that to say that player didn't get to leverage his value. He just his dream was just being in the NFL. So he just wanted to be in the NFL. So the team calls him. And so basically the team dealt with the contract with him. And so he gets a contract because they want him because he's valuable. And they only gave him a $500 signing bonus. And so I know you guys necessarily don't know contracts, but it's 2018. When I came out in 1998, my signing bonus was $5,000. So how could a kid coming out in 2018 signing bonus be $500? But they took advantage of him, even though he's valuable. They're calling him saying, hey, we want to hire you and bring you to our team. Meanwhile, okay, well, his agent's not here. Yeah, we'll send you the contract over. Here it is. It's $500 signing bonus. And he's thinking, hey, well, I'm on the team. And how do you know? You don't know what you don't know. So he doesn't know what a signing bonus is. And actually the Colts wanted to sign him. But the Colts said, well, he's a defensive end. And they said, well, we want you to play defensive tackle. So he's thinking up in his head, well, I'm not a defensive tackle, so I don't want to go there. So he tells the Colts, no, he tells them, that's why you need an agent. Because I'm like, okay, cool. I would have said, okay, he doesn't want to go to the Colts anyway. So I would have told the Colts, hey, the Chargers are offering $10,000, whatever, $15,000 signing bonus. And, so do you want to go there? And then they might say, hey, we want to sign him for 20. Well, his mind might change like it did when I told him that. I said, if they were offering you 10,000, would you go there or would you stay with the Chargers? And he goes, no, I'd go to the Colts. And I'm like, well, there you go. And he goes, man, I wasn't even thinking about that. And I'm like, that's why I'm here. You're Jerry Maguire. You know what I mean? So that's the situation that we have. And, but here he is, he's the value, but two entities are taking advantage of him. The other agent's taking advantage of him, and the NFL's taking advantage of him, but yet both of them want to sign him. One of them wants them to pay him, the other one's going to pay him, and they both took advantage of him, even though he's the complete value in the whole situation. Man, it's all right with that sign language.
I feel like I'm in a gang. It's gang sign language. Hang on. We have to do this. Is that better? There we go. So we have you going. We do got you on big screen, but we can't like talk to you there. So we have to hear you here. But I need you to say that one more time. That last little part. That part was they the value. They both want him, but they're trying to convince him that he's not the value. Say that again for me. Can you say that? I got excited.
Yeah. This is like one of the best scenarios that I've ever seen. Is that the player is the value out of everybody and anybody. The agent, he's so valuable. The agent sent him a contract with his signature on it. He did it electronically, obviously. So I'm like, wait a minute. Because I said, why did he do that? He said, because I didn't have a printer. So the agent wants him so much for him to sign with him that the agent signs his name and sends him the contract. And then the team wants him. So the team calls him, wants to sign him. He does the deal almost himself. That's why they get over on him. They don't really give him the bonus that he deserves. And they want to sign him. So both entities want him as the value, and they both tried to get over on him.
Wow. And how much does this happen in everyday life?
Oh, that's what life is. It's like that's what the life is. And obviously not amongst, those we know per se, but when dealing with corporations, and that's what you guys have to know. That's a big, deep part of it, but that's what we all are.
We don't have time for that one. We don't have time for that.
Yeah, like we're all, we're all corporate entities, and it just depends on like what space and which one that we're in and what we're with. But when they want us to be a worker in that corporation, there's that give and take. And so you have to know what your value is. So you're down with being a part of the corporation and working for it or with it, but I want to be valued at the level that I'm supposed to be valued at. Right. And then because I'm going to respect you at the level that you are, only when you value me for who I am.
Right there. Right there, everyone. Right there, all my lovely students online with us. If any of those of you who are online have some questions, you can chat them in the chat box. Adrian, you see your chat box there, sweetie? You should be able to see a chat box. There is chats going on right there, and you should be able to chat. Go ahead and ask him some questions in there, my onliners. I had one of my students, he's not with me, he actually said, I did my research on Adrian. Can we ask him questions? I said, absolutely. He was excited to ask you questions. But he is not with us now. He was totally here earlier. Maybe I'll have him put some emails together. Ask him some questions in the chat box there, right here. Everyone, please, on there. Go ahead. Anybody who has a question for him right there, put it in there. One of the things I want to say, I think my students can kind of see me, and I'm kind of, yank it around here so you can still see him. But let me get actually down here. This is the trick of the matrix. See, the matrix wants you to understand one thing, that you don't value unless you're inside of the matrix. One of the things that I told my, what did I tell? Sorry, let me get down here. How we doing? Can you see me better? I'm with the class. One of the things I told, I wrote a letter today. I switched my gyms yesterday. So I left my old gym. It's like breaking up with a boyfriend. Man, that was a good boyfriend. But he had to go, right? So I got to go to a new boyfriend. Luckily, there's like 19 or something of them. There's like locations everywhere. So I got a boyfriend around every corner. Anyways, I wrote I'm really famous at my gym. This is a true story. I know y'all are laughing, but it's as true as the day. Anyways, so I write this big letter, and one of the things I write to them, I said, remember this. The matrix cannot live without you. It is not the other way around.
Right.
Do you hear me, my students? The matrix cannot live without you, but I guarantee you, you can live without the matrix. I am a living, walking testament that you can live. Adrian, hang on 1 second. That you can live without the matrix. I am your proof. I'm your proof as an anomaly. I'm your proof as a single mom, because I am an anomaly, and I get that part, right? I am your proof that it can be done. Okay? And it can be. You're the value, though. So if I can convince you that you don't matter, then you'll kind of come work for me, because then if you come work for me, you'll matter. Right here, see, I'm going to give you an example of the state. You go work for the state, well, maybe I'll make you an AGPA, or I'll make you an SSA, or I'll make you a SS1, that's a Staff Service Manager 1, or maybe I'll give you a 2, or maybe I'll give you a 3 behind it, and now you matter. Or maybe I'll make you CEO, right? Or CFO, or CIO. And if I bring you in, and I put you in my matrix, and I then let you know you value. Happens all the time, doesn't it? We're constantly wanting to look for a place that shows us, do we value? Who values us?
Yeah, like they made us value the label and the title of something as being the value. You know, like, oh yeah, I'm the president at, or, you know, and I saw it a lot up in the NFL, and you guys see it now. That's why a lot of teams are sorry, you know, because there's guys there that have titles, and people, you know, get to look at them because they're the head coach or their assistant coach, but their title doesn't necessarily mean that they're valuable. That's why coaches are getting fired all the time.
Here I come. Don't be alarmed. Listen. I'm comedy over here, Adrian. Let me ask you something. Here, well, let's see. Questions. Here. Oh, we want to know, did you ever, and we've got like 7 minutes, so let's get some questions together. Are you an LLC? Have you legally structured yourself as an entity when you were an athlete? Because we know that as athletes you can become an LLC or, you know, protect yourself like that. Did you do anything like that?
Yeah, it's a trust. You know, it goes into trust law. So, you know, I created a trust, and then you put everything in the trust. So it's basically, you want to control everything and own nothing.
Say
that's it. Like, you want to control. See, that's kind of the other part of the matrix. They taught us to look at everything backwards, because they need us to go do it the other way, because they have it the opposite. So it's like they teach us, hey, get to this level and acquire. Hey, I got to this lesson, I can drive. Hey, I got to this, I'm 21, I can drink. Hey, you know, everything is hey, get there, and now you could do this, now you could do that. So they teach us, you know, save up and go get this, and you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way, versus you're supposed, but yet they're there, they own nothing, but they control everything. They own nothing but control everything. Just like your top companies now, you know, with Google, and not necessarily Google, but like Uber, they don't own any cars, but they're the top. They're the top, whatever business whatever business you call that. Amazon, they don't own anything, but they're the top. Right. all those companies, you know, it's like, okay, you Facebook, like, what does Facebook own? But they control all of us. We go fill the content up for them, and they just control it. Oh, no, hey, we didn't like that picture. Nope, you can't put that picture up there. Like, hey, you can't put that video. Nope, only 15-minute videos. And they, you know, and it's like, what? You know? And that's this difference in thinking. You know, it's like what they do with the athletes. I try to get my athletes to think different. You know, we're so used to doing the endorsement. You know, look at LeBron James. Like, why is he endorsing Nike and he doesn't have his own shoe? You know, like, look what Jordan brand turned into off of Nike. So you already have that example. And if you're the new Michael Jordan, like, why are you have endorsements instead of your own shoe? If Nike's able to pay him a $50 million deal, well, how much are they making? See, but when we're so used to being in the matrix a certain way, where, again, you're not giving yourself the value. You're like, oh, like the 15 million is a hell of a lot of value. I'll take that 50. And you don't think long enough to know, well, damn, I'm valuable because they're going to pay me 50 to have their product.
Right.
If I make my own, I'm not sharing it with anybody. So I don't need to pay no other dude 50. I'm going to keep it all.
Right.
Because you're just making up the shoes anyway. And how many shoe companies are out there making the shoes? So to the consumer, it's all mental of, oh, I got these Adidas. Oh, I don't wear Adidas. I wear Puma. Well, the same company probably made them.
I would have
like sunglasses. You know, like there's only a couple of sunglass companies, and the designers just put their logo, and some of them use a different, heavier material, but they're coming from the same factories with different labels on them that just make you feel good about it.
Right.
Like you women with your purses. Like, I got this bag and whatever bag, and it's like, okay, the same company made it, but it makes you feel a certain way about it.
Not me. I have the same handbag. I'm like 2 years in, same purse. As long as it's got some chains, I need chains. I need ropes. I need chains. No, anyway, too much of a story. But it's true. It's true. No, it's seriously. I like the chain part. I had a purse before that with the chains. I like the chain. Arturo, my dear, I think you're my Woodland Crew, sweetie. I don't teach global on ground. These are my entrepreneurs. I brought Mr. Ross to everyone, all of my students, because he is motivational. He is inspiring. He lets you know that you are the value, that you matter. Very motivational. Adrian, you see all the chats that they're chatting to you. Total monopoly, I agree with. Coming up, no questions, but listening, very motivational. I like the inputs. Yeah. So again, just what we're really, used to the feedback on. Do we have any last questions right here in our last couple minutes? Anybody have a question? Kane, you always have questions. What was it? Right. Kane, come here, Kane. Come here. Can he see you, Kane? I need you to see Kane. Kane, 1, 2, raise your hand, Kane. Right there. That's Kane has Bitcoins. Kane has Bitcoins.
Oh, yeah.
Kane's gonna take us to lunch on his Bitcoins, Adrian. Kane has Bitcoins. But Kane wants to know, have you ever heard of the Mandela effect?
Yeah.
Oh, I told him, I said.
Yeah, because there was a question asked to me the other night, and I was like, oh yeah, it was like, what are the Beats headphones called? Like, what are they called?
The Beats headphones.
Beats by Dre.
Beats by Dre.
Yeah, and then someone said that they're Beats by Dr. Dre or something. It was something, and I was like, no, it's not. And they're like, that's the Mandela effect. And I was like, but what are they called? Like, because I said, I'm like, they're Beats by Dre. They even said, but I'm like, they're saying, I guess it doesn't say that though. I don't know. But that was where I got the Mandela effect.
So he totally told us all about the Mandela effect last week. Totally blew my mind. I was all mental out. We had a whole trip on it. It was wonderful. It was a beautiful experience. I still don't know much about it, but Mandela supposedly died in.
Oh yeah, because it was the other one. It was about something from the movie. What's the movie with the Silence of the Lambs?
Oh yeah. He just said that, Silence of the Lamb. All right, listen here very quickly. Last minute, Mr. Ross, it's going to cut out on you. I'd like to personally say thank you. Everybody say thank you. Thank you. My onliners, listen, this is how you get your points. You will email me what stood out to you today on this. They're going to thank you here in the chat room. Here comes all your chats to thank you.
No problem, everybody.
Here they
Appreciate it.
come. Please make sure that you email me. Let me know what you got out of today's talk. That's how you get your points. I'm so super proud of all of you, all of my students. I encourage you all. You matter. You are.